If a home reflects its owner, then Rob Reiner's is a perfect fit. It's impressive but understated, grand but charming.
So, Rob, do you have a green thumb?
Well, I don't have a green thumb, but the person who first owned this house was Henry Fonda.
Ah.
Henry Fonda actually planted all of these roses.
And like the house, Reiner himself stems from Hollywood royalty. The son of actor, writer, director, producer Carl Reiner, Rob, now 63, grew to follow in his father's footsteps, becoming one of Hollywood's most successful and respected filmmakers.
You know, there's very few people whose parents achieved in this business at a very high level, whose children also achieve at a high level. It's rare. I mean, you can count it on one hand.
These days, it takes too many fingers to count Rob Reiner's triumphs, from acting in television's All in the Family to directing hits like When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, and Misery.
I make movies about people that live on Earth. You know, nobody gets exploded. Nobody is running around chasing anything. Basically, they're people in rooms talking. You're sticking with Dad on this.
His latest film, Flipped, which opens this month, is no different.
The first day I met Bryce Losky, I flipped. It was those eyes. Something in those dazzling eyes.
The film chronicles two sides of a first crush.
I couldn't believe it. There I was, holding hands with this strange girl. How did I get into this mess?
Well, hello. I see you've met my son.
I basically tell the same love story over and over. Essentially what it is, the girl in the story is always much more emotionally mature. The boy is always running around like an idiot trying to catch up, trying to figure out what's going on.
And some would argue in real life that's totally true.
Well, it is. I mean, that's my story. I mean, basically, you know, my wife gave me, made me a person.
He and Michelle Singer have been married for 21 years and have 3 teenage children.
You're like half-formed when you're a guy. You meet the right woman, and she basically helps you grow up.
Reiner says that today, just as his life has influenced his work, comedy has always influenced his life. After all, he grew up surrounded by his father's work buddies.
The great comic minds of the second half of the 20th century, Woody Allen and Mel Brooks and Neil Simon and my dad. And I was aware how funny things were, but I didn't think there was anything unusual about it. I just assumed that everybody, you know, this is what happened in everybody's house. It wasn't until I went over to my friend Paul Schindler's house when I realized things weren't as funny over there. They were a little funnier at my house.
It didn't take long for the young Reiner to realize he wanted to be just like Dad.
When I was about 8 years old, I said, Dad, I want to change my name. And he got all upset. He was worried that it was difficult for me, that he didn't want, maybe I was feeling the burden of having to be his son. And he said to me, well, what do you want to change your name to? And I said, Carl.
Sure enough, before even turning 20, he started making his own name in comedy. He was partnered with another young comedian, Steve Martin, as a writing team on the controversial Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. Then, in 1971, at just 23, he was cast in the role of his life.
If your spicks in your spades want their rightful share of the American dream, let them get out there and hustle for it just like I done.
Yeah, but Archie, you're forgetting one thing. You didn't have to hustle with a black skin.
No, I didn't have to.
I remember reading the script and thinking, this is such good writing. This is so edgy and so brilliant. There's no way that this is going to fly on American television.
Now I suppose you're going to tell me that the black man has had the same opportunity in this country as you?
More. He's had more. I didn't have no million people out there marching and protesting to get me my job.
No, his uncle got it for him.
It didn't just fly. All in the Family soared, with Reiner playing Mike Stivic, foil and son-in-law of working-class bigot Archie Bunker.
I happen to be very proud of my Polish heritage.
What heritage? You come from a long line of bowling teams.
We were a country of about 200 million people. And we got, on average, 45 million people watching the show every week. There were no VCRs. There was no TiVo. You had to actually sit down and watch it when it was on television. That meant that 45 million people were having a shared experience at the same time.
I got to tell you, I can remember being 10 years old, and it was an event in our house when All in the Family came on. My father would say, All in the Family's on, and everybody would come in and watch. You talk about that shared experience.
Right, and then there was family discussion afterwards. You don't see that so much anymore.
But another hallmark of All in the Family does remain.
Well, why don't you fix it, meathead, huh? It ain't my fault, meathead. Hold it, meathead, hold it.
Meathead.
Meathead.
People still call you meathead?
Yes, on almost a daily basis, somebody will call me that, and I love that because I had such a great experience with the show. I'm so proud of it, and I've often said, no matter what I do in life, I could win the Nobel Prize. The headline would read, "Meathead wins Nobel."
During his years on All in the Family, he married Penny Marshall, who'd star in her own hit sitcom, Laverne and Shirley, in 1976. Their fame was staggering.
Could you go out of the house?
No.
At all?
No, couldn't go anywhere. I mean, it was insane. It was like really crazy.
By the end of the 70s, the marriage broke up. All in the Family went off the air, and Reiner turned to directing. His improvised mock documentary, This Is Spinal Tap, followed the fictional tour of the fictional band Spinal Tap, England's loudest band.
If you can see, the numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.
Yeah, they go to 11, and also they were very punctual, which is an odd kind of dichotomy, to be punctual and that loud.
But doing sitcoms and satires was very much in his father's repertoire. As he approached 40, Reiner wanted to do something that would set him apart. He got his chance with the movie Stand By Me. It follows Gordy and three friends who face adversity while looking for the body of a boy who'd gone missing.
Do you think I'm weird? Definitely. No, man, seriously. Am I weird?
I thought, oh God, I can make this. I know what this is. Because I basically made my own story. A lot of the feelings that Gordy was having were things that I had when I was young growing up.
Stand By Me was a critical and financial success. So Reiner decided to try his hand at another story close to his heart, a fairy tale, The Princess Bride. But first, he had to get permission from the book's author, William Goldman.
And I was so nervous. We sat down. He has his high squeaky voice, and he says, well, I just think this is going great. I'm having a great time. And I said, oh, my God. I was so happy. I was so happy.
I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes.
Morons.
Audiences were delighted. And Rob Reiner was gaining a reputation as a director who had tapped into the culture of the times, a theory that was secured 2 years later when his production company, Castle Rock Entertainment, released When Harry Met Sally.
You realize, of course, that we could never be friends.
Why not?
Men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
Is the Billy Crystal character in that movie any part of you at all?
It's totally me.
Totally you.
It's totally me, 100% me. I mean, when I was single, I'd been married for 10 years, I was single for 10 years, making a complete and utter mess of my, dating life, trying to figure all these things out. I mean, you want to have sex, but if you do have sex, does it ruin the friendship? That became the basis of the movie.
Oh, yes! Yes! Yes!
Perhaps it doesn't sound like a topic you'd involve your mom in, but Reiner did just that. In fact, his mother, Estelle, who died in 2008, steals what should have been an unstealable scene.
I'll have what she's having.
I remember being in the theater, and the place just went nuts.
They explode, yeah, they exploded.
Did it take a lot of talking to get your mom to do that role?
No, it didn't take a lot of talking because she was just happy to spend the day with me. She had a hot dog, she watched it, and sure enough, it became the funniest line of any movie I've ever done.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the Code Red?
The funniest, but not his most famous. That honor goes to Jack Nicholson's Colonel Jessup in 1992's A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth.
The film was nominated for a Best Picture Oscar.
It gives me a tremendous amount of pleasure that that you make movies and they make it as part of the culture. They become part of the vernacular. This room over here is what we call the ego room.
At his house, there's a small room crammed with points of pride from his life in entertainment.
This is from the new movie, right?
Yes, this is from Flipped, and this was painted by my brother, Lucas.
But there are some defining moments not immortalized here. Case in point, Seinfeld. One of his production company's hits would have been canceled early on if Reiner had not personally argued its case to NBC brass.
We just had to fight like crazy to keep it on the air, which we did.
Did you know that was going to be a hit? Did you know that was going to be very successful?
you never know anything's going to be a hit. We knew it was good. You're coming out like this, but then...
Maybe it's just that simple. Whether he's directing, producing, acting, or writing, Rob Reiner says he just tries to be good. And that means working with what he knows.
Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to tell the story.
And keeping to his own golden rule.
Basically, my philosophy is give the audience the best seat in the house. I don't like a lot of, tricks and gimmicks to make it work.
At first glance, it looks like just another group of tourists drawn to the National Comedy Center in Jamestown, New York, to see artifacts like Lucy's polka-dotted frock.
I don't have a lot of clothes.
Jerry Seinfeld's ruffled shirt.
Is that what you're wearing?
The monologue is going to bring tears to your eyes.
The curtains from The Tonight Show.
3, 2, 1, cut!
But this is no ordinary group of tourists. It's the family of comedy legend Carl Reiner, here to open the archive named in his honor.
When I say the Carl Reiner Department of Archives and Preservation, what washes over you all?
That he had a life that needed to be archived and preserved.
You got a cigar?
Cigar? No. Give me $1. It's a joke. It's a joke.
His 3 children, the well-known actor and director Rob Reiner, Annie, a psychoanalyst, and Lucas, an artist, have donated 75 boxes of their dad's scripts, screenplays, and photographs to the center.
You got a guy from the Bronx who seems to be heading off for a career repairing sewing machines. And he ends up with part of a museum named after him. A museum. Would that have given him pleasure?
Oh, he would have loved it.
Yeah, he would have loved that, because no way would he ever have expected that to happen.
Yeah.
Carl's impact on film was everything from noir to silly.
The museum's director, Journey Gunderson, is thrilled to have every one of the 18,000 pages of Reiner's work.
One of the things that we can showcase is process. You see multiple drafts of every script. You see handwritten notes in the margins. You see the painstaking effort that went into the fine-tuning of the laugh.
Didn't anyone ever teach you how to make a GI knot? It's supposed to be tight!
His career spans 7 decades, creating American comedy's royal lineage.
That was the last straw! You asked for it, buddy!
A second banana to Sid Caesar on Your Show of Shows. The straight man to Mel Brooks's 2,000-year-old man.
In other words, you're afraid to fly in an airplane.
On the nosy.
Yeah, I see, but why?
Because if the good Lord meant man to fly, he would have given him tickets, right?
We paint him into a corner, and then Mel had to come up with something brilliant to get out of it. He loved doing that. He loved getting those things out of people.
The Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke.
Creator of The Dick Van Dyke Show. About a young sitcom writer, but loosely based on Reiner's own life.
Huh? Would you like these? What do you suggest I do with all of these now, huh?
Well, there must be some needy bald people.
I think of him sitting at his desk the first 5 years of my life writing the Dick Van Dyke Show. That was his favorite.
You know, you saw that spirit there.
Yeah.
And that humor.
father to one of the stars of perhaps the greatest sitcom ever.
So, you're Mr. Bunker.
You figured that out, huh?
Husband to the woman who delivered one of film's all-time great one-liners.
I'll have what she's having.
And mentor to the likes of Steve Martin, Lily Tomlin, and Bette Midler.
Listen, he got 12 Emmys, he got the Mark Twain Prize, but he never thought about those things. The greatest gift was his ability to give to other people and give his humor and make people feel good.
Can you see the chairs?
In one corner of a room at the National Comedy Center, you'll find the soul of the archive. 2 chairs from Carl Reiner's den.
That got me more than anything.
Where he and Mel Brooks, now 96, would eat dinner and watch TV every night. After Brooks's wife, Anne Bancroft, and Reiner's wife, Estelle, had both died.
They talked a lot about old music and old actors and old movies.
They took a lot of naps because they were old.
The men who'd formed one of comedy's great partnerships had an even more meaningful connection: their friendship.
And after he passed away, for the longest time, Mel would
go 1 year.
A whole year. He would go over to the house and sit there, have dinner, and watch television when my dad wasn't there for a whole year.
Carl Reiner died in June of 2020, when everyone was distracted by the pandemic. Perhaps his life and legacy weren't celebrated the way they deserved to be. But now, how Carl Reiner shaped our culture is on brilliant display at this museum. His humility.
I'm standing here because Sid Caesar and Mel Brooks and Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke and Steve Martin were in my life. That's the truth. And that's all I got to say.
His humanity. His humor. And a command of how to live life that was also museum quality.
People have always asked me his influence. Did he give you advice? The advice I got from him was just watching him, how he conducted his career, how he conducted his life. And I said, that was the greatest lesson I could get. It was how he lived his life was the greatest advice I could get.
Remember,
sooner or later, everything in Beverly Hills gets a facelift.
This is where we met, but of course, there's nothing left of it, just like our friendship.
Yeah.
Even your old high school.
We sat on that bench.
We did?
Rob Reiner and Albert Brooks met here at Beverly Hills High 60 years ago in a drama class.
This is the first time both of us have been back since we graduated.
Over a certain age, it's against the law.
Only for you, though.
Well, life works best when you remember. You remember, nobody bothers you. That's the way it was. I looked great. When you have to confront the actual people you were with, oh my God, who are you? You're my grandmother. No, you were in love with me. Oh my God, oh my God.
But you liked older women, so.
Yeah.
It brings back
nothing.
No memory.
Nothing.
No memory.
They haven't been back, but they've remained close friends for 6 decades. As Reiner went from playing Meathead in Norman Lear's All in the Family
Care for an olive?
to a career as a top-tier movie director. This is Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men, Misery, When Harry Met Sally.
Yes! 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 Oh!
I'll have what she's having.
That memorable line came courtesy of Estelle Reiner, Rob's mother. Rob's father, legendary comedian and writer Carl Reiner, knew funny as well as anyone, and during an appearance on The Tonight Show in 1963, singled out his teenage son's teenaged friend.
He says, the funniest person I know is a 16-year-old kid named Albert Einstein. That was his
Albert
name.
Einstein. That's Brooks's birth name. He changed it at the start of his career because of the other guy named Albert Einstein.
I asked, believe me, I asked.
You did.
And all I got was, ask your dad, ask your mom.
Right.
Nobody would tell me.
His parents, Harry Einstein, a famous radio comic, and his wife Thelma, never owned up to why they burdened their son with the name of the world's most famous scientist.
I don't think they thought, oh, is he going to get in trouble in gym class?
He'll live up to that. That's easy.
Albert Brooks met the challenge. He became the funniest comedian of his generation, relativity speaking.
He can't split the atom, but he can create energy through laughter.
Brooks's originality was on display as soon as he found an audience, mostly on variety shows.
I'm Dave, and I'm Danny.
Rather than tell jokes, he performed extended bits and created characters, like the world's least talented ventriloquist.
I'll sing a song while you have a cigarette. Great idea. What are you going to sing? One of my favorites, Swanee River. Great. Go way down upon the Swanee River.
It was like an elixir. I mean, it could make dead people laugh. It made everyone laugh. So I kept getting jobs because of it.
Here is comedian Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks? Our friend, Albert Brooks.
Sir, Albert Brooks.
I think he's the funniest man in the world, Albert Brooks.
As Brooks kept working, Reiner kept pestering with a request. Let me make a movie about your life.
I've always looked up to you because, to me, there was nobody that did what you could do.
Reiner's documentary, Defending My Life, is currently streaming on Max.
Why did you make this doc now?
Because he wouldn't do it when I wanted to do it. What was the reason you at this time said that you finally said you would do it?
There's a lot of young people who, if they know me at all, they know me as a fish.
There's a mollusk, see, and he walks up to a sea. Well, he doesn't walk up.
Brooks voices Marlin in Finding Nemo.
I'm mixed up. There was a mollusk.
You just would like to say, you know, there's more to it. Right. And you can't yourself on a street corner, because that's mental illness.
Yes, you could try.
Wait a minute, I'm not just a fish. Do you know that in 1975, look, I got it, my car's here. I can't.
I knew all the things that Albert had done. I knew how brilliant he was. I wanted them to know.
There's a lot to know. In 1971, Brooks wrote a piece for Esquire magazine about the Albert Brooks Famous School for Comedians. It didn't exist. Some didn't get the joke.
How many applicants did you get?
2,000.
People thought it was a real thing.
I had a 2-page talent test, the silliest test you ever saw.
Now, he won't lie to
A
you.
year or so later came a short film about the non-existent school, a pioneering example of the mockumentary.
The pie here is funnier than if it landed in Area 3. But funnier still, and I think you'll see why, would be to make direct contact with the nose. That was funny.
Then came what might have been his big break. In 1974, Lorne Michaels was preparing a sketch comedy show for NBC. It became Saturday Night Live. He asked Brooks to be the permanent host. Brooks turned him down.
Can you imagine 50 years you're doing that?
Yeah.
You're 50 years just saying, Albert Brooks.
Right. Good evening. Yeah.
Instead, he made short films for SNL's first season, which led to his true calling, writing, directing, and starring in some of the funniest and most deliberately uncomfortable movies of their time: Modern Romance, Lost in America, Defending Your Life, and the semi-autobiographical Mother, with Debbie Reynolds as the title character.
Mother, the ice cream is colorless.
Look under the protective ice.
The protective ice? You've actually named the clear, hard crap that sits on the top?
10 seconds.
All of this in addition to his work as an actor.
This is more than Nixon ever sweated.
Most memorably, schwitzing his way to screen immortality in broadcast news.
Just how noticeable is this? Huh?
I think Albert Brooks is the Marx Brothers meet Richard Pryor.
But that's the greatest thing I ever heard.
Well, good.
Because that's 4 people.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Here we go. Look at this. Albert Brooks.
Back at their old high school, the two old pals find themselves on the Wall of Fame.
Look, see, there's me right there. There's me.
Friends, still making each other laugh. though don't expect a duet.
Oh, Beverly, we love you, our loyalty we sing. To thee, all faith, all honor, our praises we sing. Our custom traditions bring glory to thee. We love you, Beverly. Then there's the end.
We need help.